bienvenidos a Cuba, bienvenidos a Cuba, bienvenidos a Cuba y bienvenidos al Grand Prix.
Welcome to Cuba and to its historic capital city, Havana. The cars, the architecture and way of life are a throwback to the 1950s and post-war Cuba. Havana's Sports City Coliseum hosted the country's first ever Judo Grand Prix. After a beautiful opening ceremony, IJF President Mr. Marius Visa awarded an IJF gold medal to members of the Cuban Olympic Committee and the Ministry of Sport. Mr. Visa then officially opened the historic event, which had a great participation. Havana is the first Grand Prix in the qualifying process for Rio 2016, and as such, there was a host of Olympic and world champions, as well as a strong Cuban contingent taking part. The media looked on expectantly, and at the draw, category after category boasted a star-studded lineup. But one category in particular caught the eye: the under 90 kilograms, featuring a mouth-watering lineup. But we start at under 73 kilograms. 1 month ago in Baku, Muki took his first IJF World Circuit gold, throwing Francis Urani from Ippon in the final with his favourite technique, Soli Surikomigoshi. In Havana, he was looking good again, beating tough Russian Mogoshkov on his way to the final. There he found himself up against home crowd favourite Estrada. Could he make it 2 golds in a row? Well, Muki, the man on form, the winner last month in Baku, he's going to be wearing blue. But this young man here, Estrada, had a great day, 19 years of age, and he's got the whole crowd behind him. But Muki, a huge thrower. And Soli Surikomigoshi, his favourite technique. He does go, but he's really getting better and better. He's going to make a major force. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, it stretched him out there with the Soli. And now, Estrada has felt the danger. Muki looks very, very calm. Looking for the sleeve all the time. There's the Soli! Oh! That's what he was looking for. Beautiful. It was so cool, calm and collected. And look at that. He just says, that's what I expected. Soli Surikomigoshi and the young Estrada didn't have an answer. That was brilliant stuff. And that's his second win on the trot. And Oren Smadja, his coach, is going to be so happy about that. Look at that. He comes in, he's almost at the wrong angle, but he stretches them out and he readjusts the hips. The hips go in and he just pole drives him over onto his back. It was so clean and it looks so easy. He makes it look so easy and he's got to be a major threat at the World Championships in 2 months' time. Brilliant stuff from this young Israeli.
זאת הרגשה נהדרת, במיוחד להעלות את הדגל של ישראל גבוה למעלה. אני שמח שהצלחתי לעשות את התחרות אחרי תחרות ובתחרות הגדולות האלה, ובאמת להציב את עצמי עכשיו גבוה בעולם. היום זה יום מאושר, היום טוב.
Presenting the medals for the under 66 kilogram category was tennis legend Elina Stasi, and it was Russia's Pulyev who had the honour of receiving gold. Earlier on, Mr. Nastasia joined IJF President Mr. Marius Visa to witness a moment of unorthodox genius from Pulyev in the final. It was so bizarre that it caught the referee on the hop. But luckily, Judo employs a video referee system, and on reviewing the footage, it was clear that Pulyev had directed his opponent over onto his back and had controlled the landing onto the point of his shoulders. A second World Circuit gold this year for Pulyev, as the crafty Russian goes from strength to strength. The Russians took their second gold medal in the heaviest men's weight category of over 100 kilograms. Standing at 6'8", Saidov is the tallest man on the world circuit. took Sherrington onto his back to secure the title. Cuba's Brayson showed that the host nation's strength is not just in the women's weights, as he powered to Grand Prix bronze. He defeated Georgia's Matthias Billy in his last contest to make sure the Cuban public went home with smiles on their faces. At the heaviest female weight of over 78 kilograms, the gold medal was won by China's Ma, who was too strong for Germany's Cadets in the final. With a minute and a half to go, she put in the decisive attack. It was the only medal for the Chinese. The women's under 78 kilograms saw the return of the reigning Olympic and 2010 world champion Kayla Harrison of the USA. Harrison has only been back in training for 3 months, but is now getting serious as she attempts to take her second world title. She blasted her way through the eliminations before coming up against 2011 world champion Frances Chimayo. The final was tight and tactical, with Harrison getting the better of the grips and the attacks. It was back to winning ways for her.
I feel great, honestly. I was very, very nervous coming into the tournament just because there's still a lot of rust, and I have only been doing judo since March, really, so to come back in my first tournament win a gold was a big deal for me, and it's thanks to my coaches and my teammates, because without them, I would not be as ready as I am. We have a couple more events, Russia, training camp in Spain, before coming back and starting our preparation for Worlds and going for that #1 spot.
Chimayo's teammates made a good impression in the under 63 kilograms, where both of their fighters made it to the final for a French domestic. Avegnanou, the world #1, overcame her compatriot Bella, first thrown with a Uranagi, which scored Yuko, and then confirming victory with an unorthodox counterattack that scored Wazari. Gold for Avegnanou. There was yet another French finalist at under 57 kilograms. Olympic bronze medalist Pavia found herself up against Austria's Filzmoser. Who would come out on top? Well, both of these ladies have a good chance at the coming World Championships. Filzmoser, though, she's, 32 years of age, so this really is her last blast for Olympic qualification. Pavia, the winner the last 4 times out between these two. There's a Harai Makikomi straight in. And look at Filzmoser there, trying to get her down to the ground. That's where she wants her. So Pavia, very, very tactical. As all the French are. She'll keep taking it to the edge in order to attack. That's what she does. And almost, does she get a score? Yes, she does. Wazari scored there. Harai Makikomi, and it was on the edge again. Filzmoser looking for the hold down. So look how she comes up there, and the only difference is now she's starting to attack just inside the area. So Pavia using the edge to her advantage. On the edge again, now what's going to happen? Oh, she gets the ippon. It started in, went quite a way outside the area, but Pavia, well, it was Uchimata. It was hand-assisted, and she had such good control of the upper part of the body. She got the rotation, and Filzmoser went onto her back. Look how far inside it started. Look how far outside it goes. As long as it starts inside, that's what counts. And Pavia now has to be one of the favourites, certainly, for a medal at the coming World Championships. In the bronze medal contest, Cuba's Ojeda meant business. Wazari down against Roper, she produced a brilliant moment to score Italy. Hers and the crowd's reaction illustrated perfectly how special a sport judo is in Cuba. the IJF travelled to underprivileged areas all over the world to promote the unique values and principles of judo. Havana was the next stop. An IJF delegation visited a dojo in one of its suburbs to share ideas and teach some fun judo games.
Porque me gusta mucho el judo y estoy muy complacido con él.
Judo is not just about elite competition. There is so much more to it.
Fue muy importante y me divertí mucho.
La actividad hoy ha sido maravillosa. Es una experiencia nueva para nosotros. Haber compartido con estos dos senseis que nos transmitieron actividades juegos fundamentalmente para los niños que esta edad es lo que más fluye, la actividad de juego. Se pudo notar la alegría de ellos, cómo disfrutaban de esta actividad.
The Cuban women's team is one of the strongest in the world. Their head coach is the charismatic Ronaldo, who has helped produce world and Olympic champions over a 20-year period. Ronaldo leads a tight ship. The team train together, work together, and support each other. Ronaldo's unique coaching style has gone down in judo folklore. Here in Havana, the women once again showed their strength in depth. The under 48 kilogram final was an all-Cuban affair, as the board got the better of Mestre Alvarez to take the gold medal. The Cuban flag was once again on show in the weight above, as the former world champion Burma topped the podium.
El judo femenino lo siguen muchas personas en Cuba y siempre ha estado en la élite. Nosotros somos subcampeones olímpicos en Londres y subcampeones mundiales en Brasil. Y entonces esto pone regocijo a todo el espectador que viene a ver a nuestras atletas y le siguen dando la confianza que merecen. La mujer cubana es muy luchadora. La mujer cubana tiene calidad, no solamente en el judo femenino, sino en otros deportes. Y como guerreras que son, ahí están sus resultados. Este torneo tiene una gran importancia para Cuba porque así podemos foguear a muchas atletas nuevas que por la cuestión económica Cuba no puede llevarlas a desarrollarse, o sea que muchas de ellas han tenido nuestra primera experiencia internacional aquí y esto para nosotros es un sueño logrado gracias a la Federación Internacional, que le agradecemos de corazón el desarrollo y el apoyo que le ha dado al judo femenino cubano.
At under 100 kilograms, it was young Belgian Nikiforov making waves. In his semi-final against Pasana, he produced one of the throws of the tournament, a huge uranagi. Nikiforov was through to the final. There he would face off against Orlik of Switzerland. Could Nikiforov claim a first Grand Prix gold? Nikiforov trying to set him up. Got the hand underneath, got the inside grip. Now he's got the sleeve, Nikiforov. He's a big thrower, got big uranagi. And he's also got a shinagi! Whoa! Beautiful Ippon! Nikiforov has been on amazing form all day, and he's beaten all the top people. My goodness me, he is an outsider certainly for a medal, I think, at the World Championships coming up. Look at that Shinagi there. Big man, right the way underneath. He gets the elevation, he controls the upper part of the body, and he plants Orlik onto his back for a massive Ippon. And that is a massive technique and under pressure. Nikiforov is really the man to watch at the World Championships. At under 70 kilograms, Germany's Vargas Koch couldn't keep the smile on her face. Having found herself in the final against Graf of Austria, she wasted no time in going to work. Getting her arm over the top, she hooked in with her leg and drove Graf over onto her side for Yuko. Quickly freeing her trapped leg, she secured the hold down, holding Graf for 20 seconds to score a victory. It was a second Grand Prix victory of the year for Vargas Koch, who cemented her position as world number 2. more newaza in the lightest male weight of under 60 kilograms, where Havinashvili took gold. The win means the dynamic Georgian is now only 40 points behind world number 1, Kata. In the final, he faced off against Kata of Brazil. Typical fashion, he rode an attack before catching his opponent off guard, throwing with a lightning fast hold shot, immediately securing the hold. Try as he might, Takafataki couldn't break through. Goal for Georgia. The world number 1 at under 81 kilograms is another Georgian, Shrikishvili, who has been on excellent form this year. Shrikishvili is a big thrower, and after taking out Colombia's Castro, defeated Canada's Olympic medalist Valois Fortier in the semi-final. Shrikishvili produced one of the throws of the Grand Prix as he feinted a big pickup before spinning his hips and turning in for a huge uchimata. It was a great combination of raw power and beautiful technique. USA's world number 5, Stevens, was looking good on the other side of the draw. But in his semi-final, he faced Penalba, the world number 4. The fight was a classic, with both men locking horns in search of victory. Stevens tried to close out the contest, but Penalba countered him spectacularly. Wazari to the Brazilian, so close to the ippon. Stevens came straight back at him, giving him no chance to dwell on his lead. Within seconds of conceding, Stevens swept Penalba off his feet and buried him for the ippon. A great example of judo's fine line between defeat and victory. The final would be Shrikishvili versus Stevens. The American exploded out of the blocks, laying the pressure on Shrikishvili early on. But the Georgian thrives on pressure, and he allowed Stevens to push forward, picking him off to perfection and scoring a Wazari. Stevens, however, was unrelenting, piling forwards and attacking the Georgian in standing judo and in groundwork. But time and again, Shrikishvili escaped just in time. One final attack from Stevens was countered by Shrikishvili, but just after the clock had expired. Victory to Shrikishvili. He confirms that he is clear favourite for World Championship gold. But Georgia weren't done yet. At under 90 kilograms, they'd saved their best till last, as their talisman and judo poster boy Lipitiliani took to the tatami. Lipitiliani is the world number 1 and was here in Havana looking to cement his position at the top. He started almost too well, throwing his first opponent with so much power that he lost control halfway through. But once he'd found his rhythm, there was no stopping him, and he eased into the semi-finals. However, Lipitiliani wasn't the only Georgian powerhouse competing in this category. His young teammate, Viniashvili, has dreams of seeing his name on judo billboards. At the last Grand Prix in Samsun, the 18-year-old sensation proved that he has what it takes to win gold as he unleashed a torrent of deadly judo on his opponents. It could well be him that flies the Georgian flag in the future. In Havana, Viniashvili was just as impressive and took a major scalp when he chopped down the dangerous Voprasov before yet again displaying his ferocious strength to immobilize the Russian for the win and the semi-final showdown with Lipitiliani. It was the youngster who started strongest, but Lipitiliani almost countered him. Once again, Viniashvili fired a warning shot. Now it was Lipitiliani's turn to threaten. Then it looked as though it was all over. But the referee had called mate just before the attack. In the final minute, Lipitiliani showed his class, catching his teammate on the edge with a lethal foot sweep to score a decisive victory. Viniashvili's day would surely come. Lipitiliani made the final. There it would be a Brazilian laying in wait for him, former world champion Camilo. Camilo is a class act and was looking to get back at his best with some awe-inspiring Ippon judo, marking his path to the final. Could he roll back the years to derail the Georgian dynamo in Havana? Camilo versus Lipitiliani. Who would come out on top? This should be an absolutely amazing match. Camilo coming back after injury, and here's the man, world number one, Lipitiliani, and Mr. Marius Visa absolutely loving this matchup. Camilo left-handed. Lipitiliani holds right, but he can go both ways. Now what's going to happen? Is he going to get a score? Yes, he is going to get a score. And Camilo tried for the counter-attack, gets countered himself, and that is a wazari to Lipitiliani. It was, well, Surigoshi, and then Camilo tries to counter, and then he just carries it on Lipitiliani and plants him onto his back. And that was a rolling technique, so he gets a wazari. Now Camilo comes forward, always dangerous, a big thrower. Looking for the Uchimata and the Taitoshi. Oh, he gets tipped over! He gets tipped, and is that going to be it? Well, it's a Yuko scored, and it was a beautiful tipping action there from Lipitiliani, and he's well on top of this match. Camilo couldn't do anything without him. And now Lipitiliani well in charge of this final. The world number one wants to win the world title. He hasn't won a major world event. It could be this year. Got the inside grip here, Camilo. Oh, he's been taken back. It's a wazari, wazati Ippon. Kosoto, Teliotoshi. It was a kind of a mixture. But Lipitiliani, well, that was against a former world champion, don't forget. Camilo, I know he's coming back after injury, but he's so experienced. But he knew it had gone as soon as he hit the floor. Lipitiliani, a class act. 3 scores in that match. It was 2 wazaris, a Yuko as well, and he really blasted his way to the title here in Havana. It was a superb Kosoto, and you can see the look on Camilo's face there. He knew it had gone. Lipitiliani wins the title, and he's going to the World Championships as favourite.
Today was a really important day, as I took part in the Grand Prix in Cuba. It's such a beautiful country. I want to thank the IGF for putting on such a beautiful event. Today was also very important because I became Grand Prix champion and got 300 qualification points to the Olympic Games. I have very strong rivals in my weight category. I want to point out the fight with Beka Givenashvili, as he is a strong judoka and is a friend of mine.
რომელიც ჩემი მეგობარი ერთად ვარჯიშობთ, ძლიერი სპორტსმენია და რა თქმა უნდა ტიაგო კამილოსთან ფინალში, რომელიც უაღრესად გამოსტილი და უაღრესად ძლიერი სპორტსმენია, მაგრამ დღეს ყველა ძლიერი მივიყავი და ამის რა თქმა უნდა გახარებული ვარ.
Well, that's it from the very first Havana Grand Prix. The Cuban crowds have been treated to a veritable feast of judo. Muki did it again, and in style. Pavia put her name in the frame for the World Championships. Nikiforov produced a moment of magic. Could he be a threat at the World Championships? And the Georgian men just keep getting stronger on the road to Chelyabinsk. Led by their superstar, Lipitiliani. Next up is Budapest in 2 weeks' time.